Hey guys, Becky here with Design Bundles, and I'm super excited to have you join me today because we have a really cute, I'm gonna call it a gift idea, although you can definitely use them for yourself or centerpieces or anything like that. But guys, with Mother's Day and Easter coming up, who can resist making these really cute chocolate flowers? All right guys, so here I am in Silhouette Studio. Now of course I'm doing this in Silhouette Studio, but you can really do this just as easily in Cricut Design Space or if you have another cutting software. But basically I scored these really simple yet awesome flower designs from Design Bundles as part of a bundle in my Plus membership. So really like that. But I wanted to pick a flower with petals that were, we'll just say basic, because I don't want I'm not trying to choose a complicated flower that is going to be the focus of the design. But of course, you're free to choose any flower shape that you want. Now, when I was deciding how to size this flower, what I did was I measured the bottom of the Ferrero Rocher chocolates that I'm going to pair these with. And then I was able to draw a circle. I'm going to hold down my shift key, that way it draws it as a perfectly round circle, but then I can come up here to my dimensions and it was 1.25 inches in diameter. So if you notice here, let's fill that in with a different color. Let's choose yellow. And you'll notice that I sized my flower so that the circle fits perfectly right in the middle. Okay. Now, you may be asking me, why do I have two different colors? That's because the red is sized to fit this exactly. That way it's a pretty snug fit around that little piece of chocolate. And then the black is slightly larger because we're doing two layers. So the red will be the first layer, the black will be the second layer, and then it helped if I staggered them on the mat. That way the smaller pieces and larger pieces could fit together more like a puzzle to be more conservative. And I only had to use one sheet for all three pieces of chocolate. Now, when it's time to cut, let's go ahead and check our page setup panel because, you know, I always stress that it's very important. So I'm cutting with my regular Cameo today. I am using a 12 by 12 cutting mat. My media size is also 12 by 12. So all of that looks good. If I want to, I can turn on my cut border just to make sure everything is within the cut border. And then I'm going to click over to the send panel. And the send panel is going to have all of my cut lines here, so just make sure that those light up in red. Now I am cutting this on the cardstock setting, so it's really good. That's just the default, but it's really good. It already, picked that up. I don't have to mess with that. And it is set to automatically cut, and it has detected that I'm using the ratchet blade. So since I'm using the ratchet blade, I will just adjust my blade manually. But if you are using the auto blade, that's fine. Choose the auto blade, and then it will adjust for you automatically. Now, if this is your first time cutting this type of material, I'm using a craft mesh, but you can do this with cardstock, especially patterned cardstock would be really cute. But I'm using that craft mesh because I really love it a lot. And just make sure that you do a test cut and that you get a good cut on whatever material you're using. So then I will just click over to the send panel and it will cut my flowers for me. All right, guys, so this is the beautiful craft mesh. It is a nice ivory color that we're going to use today because these are the chocolates that I'm going to pair up for this project. Now, of course, these are great for any holiday. I'm doing these in particular because I think they'd be really cute for Mother's Day. And then I do have my cutting mat here. This cutting mat is a little bit beat up, and I'm also going to use this repositionable Easy Tack from Krylon. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna spray that straight on the craft mesh. Now for me, it does not leave a sticky residue, but it does help to tack down the craft mesh to the mat. Okay, so I do like to spray it on the mesh instead of the mat because I just feel like I get a better adhesion. And I also don't feel like I gum up my mat by doing it that way. So I can just load this into my Cameo. And then I will send the file to cut. All right, guys, so I have all of my flowers here, right? And of course, you want to separate out the larger flowers and the smaller flowers. And then let's talk about how to roll these flowers, okay? Now, this is just it's actually a diffusible ink marker, but you can use pretty much any type of marker that you have laying around. And what you want to do is first, I'm going to crease just where my flower, the inside of my flower is. And then this craft mesh rolls really, really well. All right, so that's what I want to do is roll my flower petals so that they'll look more realistic. And don't get me wrong, nobody's gonna look at these flowers and be like, oh, wow, I bet that's a real flower. That's not the point here. But the point is to make a really cute design. That way you have a really neat project to show off. Now, I plan on actually using these as part of my Easter decorations. I thought that would be really cute. These are also really cute for Mother's Day. All right, this would make a really cute gift, a really cute and an expensive gift, whether it's for your mom or other moms in your life. Just really, really cute. All right, and the reason we did two is that way we can take a larger one and a smaller one and kind of sandwich them together. Now, once we get the chocolate glued in here, then we'll be able to plump up those flowers more. But they really turn out very, very cute. Let's see, this is one of the smaller designs. Now, of course, there are a lot of really great methods and tools that you can use if you really get into crafting a lot with paper flowers. But this is just like a basic how to make, a paper flower for beginners, so to speak. Now, there's also rolled flowers, and I'm not saying that you can't use rolled flowers, but I think rolled flowers would be a lot more difficult to work out. So we have a large and a small. There we go. They taper a little bit better for you. But really, really cute. I really like them a lot. Let's slide these over and I will show you how to put this together. This is like the easiest part ever, guys. So you're going to take out your chocolate, and they're just these cute little ball chocolates. Everybody loves them. I'm going to add, here, I'm going to put this is just a little scrap of paper. I'm gonna add just a little dab of hot glue here. Go ahead and center the smaller flower. Now be careful because this is mesh, so the hot glue will come through. So add another little dab, and now add your chocolate. Now it's up to you if you want to leave the wrapper, or you can actually take it off of the wrapper. It's actually glued in there pretty well. I'm gonna take mine off and just put it right here in the middle. And then as you can see, once the glue dries, okay, it's adhered pretty well. So you don't want to, glue it within an inch of its life, but you want to glue it enough that it's going to hold your chocolate in there. And then you will be able to smush your flower petals up and make them really incorporate. So basically the chocolate part is like the inside of your flower. So just keep manipulating your flower petals until you have a flower that looks exactly the way that you want it. Of course, if you want, a tighter flower or a smaller flower, then you can make your design a little bit smaller than mine. But I really like these. And if you want a fuller flower, guys, you can make a fuller flower by adding more layers, whether it's craft mesh or cardstock or pattern paper. You can add multiple layers until the flower is as full as you need it to be. All right, guys, I finished the assembly on my flower. Now, to get it to really hold together, if you want to come in here with a little bit of hot glue, you can do that. But the craft mesh is pretty sturdy, and it is flat on the bottom, so that makes these very versatile to be able to use them. Like I said, I'm going to use mine for my Easter tablescape, right? Because they're just so cute, and they're going to look really, really awesome when I set out my Easter place settings. But guys, you can actually, attach these and make bouquets and use them for Mother's Day gifts and birthday gifts. And like I said, it's just a really, really cute project that you can do. It's very inexpensive, but it's one of those that I feel like has a lot of wow factor because it's a project that not very many people are going to think of or are not going to tackle for themselves. So really cute. I really love it a lot, and that's how easy they are to make. So guys, how did you feel about our little flowers? Now, of course, using the craft mesh is super, super easy. It cuts just as easy as cardstock does, but it has this really nice texture and usually a little bit of shimmer too. And I mean, who doesn't love the Ferrero Rocher chocolates? I mean, I certainly do. And these little flowers are so versatile. Like I said, I plan on using mine as part of my Easter tablescape, okay, to go on my Easter table. But guys, I mean, these would make really cute bouquets. They're great for any type of gifting in the spring. I mean, or you could do little poinsettias and do them at Christmas. I mean, it's really unlimited on what you can do with this craft. It's simple, it's easy, and it really packs just that really cute awe factor. So I love it a lot. Of course, hopefully you guys love it too. And of course, if you have any questions, make sure you leave those in the comments below. I do love to hear from you guys. And please make sure you subscribe to the channel, because that's what supports our little channel here so that we can keep bringing you more videos in the future. So I'm going to wrap it up for today, guys, but thanks again for stopping by, and we'll see you again next time.